overall points from the weekend. It's going to be like this. Owen Kelly and Tim Brook on the front row. Nathan Hearn and Lockie Dalton out of 3 and 4. Ben Grice and Brett Holdsworth. We've got Kyle Girton and Cody Bircher. John McCorkindale and Eden Thornborough staying out of row number 5.
Yeah, there'll be some movers and shakers in this. Jet Johnson off 12. Nick Carroll, 24th to 4th last time out. He goes back to 14th. That race 1 result really cost him. Sean Richardson out of the back of the 20. Watch for Dalton Ellery to charge his way through, and in front of him, Nash Morris.
So guys down towards the back, Mick Rouse, Steve Coulter is back in the field. Jackson Rice, who had some troubles this weekend, his Dream Racing Australia entry, as the safety car pulls in and they pack up tightly in their rows of 2. Every start so far this year has been wild, to say the least, in this category. Expect nothing less when the lights go out in just a few seconds' time here. Tim Brook on the front row with Owen Kelly, who's picked up 2 wins. Inherited yesterday's victory when his teammate was penalised for contact down at the turn 4 hairpin. And for the final time this weekend at Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit, 27 cars are ready to blaze down the Gardner Straight, and we go racing in the Trico Trans Am Series. Look at Nathan Hearn glued to the back of his teammate already as he pushes him along here on the way down to turn number 1. They stayed in the rows of 2 then for a split second, but in the end, Kelly will sweep across to take the lead.
It was the tandem draft at Daytona there for Nathan Hearn, getting onto the rear bumper bar of the car in front. It was almost waiting for the spotter to go clear, clear, clear inside as they went down towards turn 1. Brilliant start. Tim Brook had absolutely nothing to do. No, he's having a mare at Simmons Plains and at Phillip Island. Speed to burn, luck completely absent.
And he will join at the back of the field, so we'll keep an eye on the 03 car, the All-American Driveline Auto Parts entry of Ben Grice, who spun himself towards the tail, but it's on between the 2 GRM cars through Siberia. Owen Kelly, Nathan Hearn, who'll be looking just for a result now. It hasn't been the greatest weekend by his standards here. The defending Trans Am champion as they sweep past the lake here at Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit, and already got a handy margin back to Tim Brook. There is the recovering Ben Grice. Oh dear me, back in 27th position.
Another trip off the lawn, but that save in race 2 will stay with us for a long time. Incredible bit of car control. How's the noises that were coming around the hay shed? The NASCAR analogy gets used a lot with these cars, but it's accurate. They sound so close to it. Great racing. Hearn's been very good out of 11 all weekend. Just a little bit offline for Owen Kelly getting into the apex at turn 12. Wonder if that will open the door. Locked up behind the teammates, JRM run cars. Kelly's going to have to defend on the run to turn 1 because the champion will be attacking.
Tim Brook just sitting back in 3rd position here while the 2 teammates, Hearn steps out for a moment there through the middle of Doohan Corner, now locks onto the back of Kelly through Southern Loop. Lap number 2 of 13, the final race of the weekend. On the overall, it's looking like Owen Kelly at the moment with the results he's had right now. It's certainly on for 2nd, 3rd and 4th for the final positions in the podium. These 2 trying to break away as they clear up all the lawn and clippings and dust off the course here from Ben Grice's moment down there on lap number 1.
Right on the edge of what these cars can do under brakes down there at turn 4. They were squirming around as they got maximum brake pressure. Flames from the exhausts on the down change. 4-speed H-pattern gearbox. 1,250 kilos, these cars. A Hoosier bag tyre, so a cross-plug tyre, so they move and slide around a lot on the tyre tread itself. 525 horsepower, 6,500 RPM, and a radiator on Nathan Hearn's car jammed with debris, but it doesn't matter because he sends it up the inside at Lukey Heights. Can he go around the outside? There's a bump. Is there a run, or does OK hold on? He does, just.
How tough did that shot look when he placed it on the left-hand side at the hay shed? He'll live to fight another day here as he stays with the 73. That, in fact, helped clear the Radiator 2 on the front of the number 1. And he is not letting Owen Kelly go here. He's almost in the back of the Fujitsu 73 at the end of the 2nd lap. Meantime, Jet Johnson, right-hand side, in the pits, damage to the right rear of his car.
Tim Brook just in behind, keeping a watchful eye on the 2 GRM teammates going at it. Lockie Dalton running a really impressive 4th, actually. He's been the quiet achiever this weekend. He has just stayed out of harm's way and accumulating points. Here's the opportunity for Hearn. Kelly a little bit wide on the exit of the Southern Loop. But again, car number 1 can't quite capitalise there. it almost feels inevitable, but with Owen Kelly's wealth of experience at the top level of our sport, he will put all of that to use in keeping the young guy behind, but he gets the over-under at Honda at turn 4. It's a drag race to Siberia.
This is awesome from these two at the front. And again...
Got him. Oh,
has he?
Does he?
Not this time. Let's see if he throws a speculator at the top of the hill like the last lap. That was cool.
He's got the fishing line out. He's waiting for Kelly to bite. Oh, Tim Brooks sideways at the hay shed. You don't say that often. Jet Johnson's out of car 117. That's a shame. A repeat of the last time. This isn't a replay. It's the same. This time he's got him. Nathan Hearn goes through.
Monster move from the defending champion in Trans Am competition, and Lockie Dalton suddenly wants to party with the three guys in front here. So Nathan Hearn to the lead of this race at the end of lap number 3. He had to absolutely work for it. Some 13 kilometres of pressure to get the job done on Owen Kelly. Dalton runs in 4th, and Nick Carroll, who drove from outside the top 20 earlier today, he's running in 5th position. Bircher is next. Holdsworth, McCorkindale, Thornborough, Nash Morris complete your top 10.
Yeah, Nick Carroll, who's tacked onto the back of his leading group. He's passed more cars than anyone this weekend by a mile, with 20 of them in race 2 earlier today.
Now Tim Brook has the same dramas that Nathan Hearn had. You can see his front grille covered in lawn clippings from the earlier part of the race when Ben Grice went off right where we are now on the Bass Straight section of the course. So lap 4 of 13, we settle into the groove now of this final race. Let's have a look how it started here just a few laps ago.
And awesome stuff with the 2 GRM cars, locked together nose to tail, working as one to punch a bigger hole in the air and drive their way to the lead. It really was drafting NASCAR style, and that helped Owen Kelly to be clear by the time they got down to the exit of turn 1. Tim Brook just had no answer. See Ben Grice running right around the outside there, so he was trying to get free ground early and unfortunately just ran out of room. Is that Brett Holdsworth? Yep, the Breeze Aircom entry. And the full 360 spin for car 03. And Benjamin Wright down in 25th place. Barry the dog, watching from home, will not be pleased with how his dad's day has gone.
Probably got his back to the screen at home.
I'd have it turned off, but at this point, I think
this was the first move up the top of the hill on Owen Kelly, which you thought was cool. He'd eventually get it done on the next lap on the Fujitsu 73. Just a little bump down there at the hairpin between the two, which was enough to scatter the lawn clippings and clear up the radiator grille on the front of his number 1. So that was the move for the lead on the previous lap. The gap sits at 1.5 seconds now in this final race of Turtle Wax Trans Ams here today. Of course, replays breed replays.
Oh, great move. Nick Carroll, car 48, down the inside of Lockie Dalton, who keeps his track record of just keeping his nose clean all weekend. Really good stuff. Carroll up to 4th place, and he's got speed to burn as he catches the lead. Michael Caruso's moved from the commentary box to the coolness now of pit lane. Caruso.
Yes, boys, thanks. I'm joined here by Jet Johnson in the 117 All Properties Group car. Mate, bad luck. This is not where you want to be at this point of the race.
Nah, it's really not where we want to be. It's not how we would want it to end up, but it's racing, happens, so just look forward to the next one.
Can you tell us what actually happened? What's put you out of the race?
We were down at turn 4, and I believe it was John Harris was in the corner of me. I think, once he got in the corner of me, he didn't, couldn't quite back out in time. We both ended up out in the grass, and when the wheels turned to full lock, the hubs hit on the caster arm and it spent the caster arm. So that's us out for today.
Bad luck, mate. I love your technical understanding of the car, though.
Yeah, thank you. It's just something you pick up when you're a mechanic.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's a Johnson.
Cheeky. Yeah, definitely Queenslander.
Well, that was happening. John Hollinger took an excursion off the track down in the Southern Loop. He was there with Mark Crutcher and Adam Hargraves in the repaired number 20, and did it on his own. And, Hargraves got in the back of Crutcher as well. He's having a weekend to forget. And did he get out of the gravel trap down there? He's trying to grab half a race. I'm not sure if he did get out of there. Meantime, this was Grice. Oh, man. I think he'll be steering clear of the Grice pit at the end of this race today. After grabbing his first pole position, when we combine the practice times due to qualifying being cancelled, a weekend that was promising has come up really tough for the 03 team.
Crutcher was a little bit strange. He was just taking evasive action and got drilled. Yeah. Nothing he could do there in that instance. It's a strange one.
Go back to your comment about Nick Carroll. He started again today down the field. 14th position and up into 5th as Brock Bowley and Sean Richardson go at it down here. These guys just out the top 10 in 14th and 15th position. Sean's getting set to go to Long Beach in a couple of weeks' time to race a stadium truck with the great Eric Davis over there as part of the IndyCar race. Of course, IndyCar's coming up tonight. It's a big, big night for us, mate.
Yes, I've got 6 for the eyelids ready to hold them open. Yeah, and Scott McLaughlin on the front row in case you missed that news earlier today. So Texas Motor Speedway, fastest track in the IndyCar calendar, picking up from the fastest track on the Speed Series calendar as well. Dalton and Carroll swap positions again. Nick passed Lockie Dalton at Siberia a couple of laps ago, but Lockie has found himself back in car 45.
Meantime, Hearn 2 seconds ahead of the Fujitsu 73 of Owen Kelly's. He comes through to complete his 6th lap of the race. And will be tied on the podium between he and Brooke at the moment for 2nd and 3rd place as the rest of the field come on by to complete another lap. S5000, their main race coming up after this, and that's Jackson Rice slowing.
Oh,
and
no!
Carroll.
Caught out by the slow car. He was attacking. He was trying to get past Lockie Dalton, and the slow car burst into view, and he's fired the car off. And a long way off. Fortunately, he's kept it out of the gravel, but all that good work for the 2nd time today undone.
Down the field he goes. What a shame with Jackson Rice slowing there in the 37. Here it is. That's the car on the right-hand side. Here comes Carroll to make the move and was lucky not to drill Dalton just ahead.
Oh, how close to that?
And Jackson Rice.
Wow. Whew. He was having a go and backed out of the move, hadn't committed to the move down the inside, so as he moved across to driver's left, the slow vehicle was in sight and taking evasive action, and we'll watch it at real speed. Check this out.
Oh, that was close.
Tortured scream of Hoosier tyres.
And they'll be hurting now for the rest of the race. There was a high-speed moment, well over 230 k's an hour on the approach down into turn number 1. And that's put him right down in the field now. Back to 12th position behind Chris Pappas. So he'll be trying to salvage points now from this race after charging from 14th up into the top 5. Meantime, battle for 2nd and 3rd is on as we're halfway home here. The final race of Turtle Wax Trans Am at the island.
Do you know, Nick Carroll will go and talk to his mates tomorrow, and unless they've watched it on Stan Sport, or will go the on-demand function and catch up, he'll go, oh, mate, I was running with the leaders every race. I was right up there. And they'll look at the results and go, nah, you're telling us porky pies, Nick. What's going on? He'll go, I swear I was there. It's been such a weekend of unfulfilled potential for young Nick. It's a real shame because he is so fast and clearly capable of running at the pointy end of this field, as he's proved time and time again.
Had the luck been on his side, he could have been a race winner.
Yeah, 100%. But that's the game, isn't it?
Further down the field.
Further, yeah.
It's Richardson now with Craig Scatella, who's been around the category for a long time now with the 777. Richardson down the inside in his RTC Group sponsored car. And Brock Bowley just ahead, who copped a 10-second penalty in race number 2 earlier today. The Western Australian in the field, running back in 13th position. So Hearn at the moment with the biggest margin of the weekend, nearly 3 seconds. Kelly and Brooke running 2nd and 3rd. Our race leader makes his way up to the top of the hay shed. Plenty of that red and white race tape being used on the front of this car this week. I don't think there's too many cars that have survived without any kind of damage, but hey, that's the nature of this category.
So Bowley up 6 spots in this race. Nash Morris up 8 from 16th to 8th. And getting up behind John McCorkingdale, who's up to 7th, so he's up 2 spots, and Brett Holdsworth running 6th, right where he started. When racing cars had flames, how cool. That's just lifting off the throttle and slowing the car for the rise at Lukey Heights. Such an incredible bit of road.
One of the rare times he does lift off the throttle was Nathan Hearn. Meantime, we're in car with Nash Morris, who's up into 8th spot now, carrying our Super Jeep Auto in-car camera. Let's go for a ride around this 4.4K course. Crank it up at home and have a listen to these awesome Trans Ams.
it's an enjoyable ride. A few things I've noticed, how patient Nash is getting to the throttle out of the long loaded corners here at Phillip Island so as to not torch the rear tyres in this car. And also, he's pulling noticeable time out of John McCorkindale out in front. So it's the battle for 7th and 8th position at the moment.
8/10ths quicker on that previous lap for Morris. In fact, they're all about a second away from their fastest laps. So they have dropped off pretty quickly here, these tyres. Of course, some have saved a couple of Hoosier brand new tyres for this one, but most are dancing around on the best of the old rubber as Bowley and Richardson continue to scrap here for 13th and 14th place. Lap 10 of 13. And Owen Kelly looking good here, still in with second place to take out the round honours in the Trans Am Series second round of 2022.
You know, it's been an up and down weekend for Bowley, but this has been a really good drive up to 13th position. Car 33. West Aussie contingent. Trans Am, oh no, and it was going so well. It's popped something on the run down towards turn 4. Big plume of smoke from underneath the car, and I wonder if it might be power steering like we saw with Nash Morris's car earlier today. Broke a power steering line in the car and the steering failed. The car was loaded up at the top of Lukey Heights and it popped. And that burst, you could see it happen as he ran down the hill through turn 3. Still sounds healthy enough.
Now, I tend to agree with you. We saw it today early with Nash, so here it is on the replay. So heading down Bass Straight, just ahead of Richardson. And the 23-year-old, somewhere about here as he turns in, so you think when the car's under load,
it adds up, but at the same time, there's a reason you and I aren't mechanics. Yeah. So we'll leave it to the gurus to find out what happened there, but...
We're lucky to be in here.
Yes, correct. That's a strange one. Continuing onwards, it was interesting that Sean Richardson dropped right off the back of him when that smoke plume started. So I wonder if he might have got some fluid on, but I would have thought if that thing dumped fluid midway through turn 3, which is 200 k's an hour loaded 4th gear corner, you're going to feel it, and he certainly didn't lift out of the throttle.
He'll know he's raced as well. He's only a small guy as well, Brock. But his first run in the Turtle Wax Series, they'll contest the Western Australian Divisional Series, if you will, over there over the course of 2022.
Let's talk Tim Brook.
That's Hollinger slowing down as well, right in front of our race leader. Is it a tyre rubbing, you think, Rich?
Yeah, it is. Look, on the rear guard, it's punched the rear quarter of that car, and you can see the damage where the light would be on that Chevy Camaro body Trans Am racer. All these cars are identical under the skin. They use the body of Ford Mustang, Chevy Camaro, or Dodge Challenger, depending on what brand of US pony car, as the dub you go for.
And Crutcher again in the walls in the background, he hit the wall. That's why it's rubbing.
These two have been inseparable all weekend. You saw them earlier at this race down at the Southern Loop.
Crutcher might change the colour of the car next time so he doesn't stand out so much.
The bright yellow, it's an obvious warning. You may as well be in high vis. I reckon stealth like a dark red or something like that. Just blend into the scenery. I was going to start a conversation about Tim Brook because he's had a really, really good weekend. He was the beneficiary of some things going his way down at Simmons Plains in round 1, but ended up with a really strong weekend there. Championship lead. If they finish the way they are, time on points with Nathan Hearn for 2nd and 3rd for the round. Nathan Hearn would get that on account back by virtue of winning this race. But from a championship point of view, absolutely critical. Really good accumulation of points. And the other driver we're talking about, Knowles, in this race is Cody Bircher, who's climbed his way up into 4th place. Young guy from New South Wales, and he's in front of Lockie Dalton now.
His grandfather Murray's here this weekend. Bumped into him earlier today in the paddock and really loving Cody's time in the series. And rewarding the team nicely today with a 4th position, part of the GRM family this year. He's just ahead of Dalton, some 2 seconds ahead. You're right, Brooks starting to apply the pressure here. And joining it is Bircher in the red 36. Brock Bowley has pulled that car into pit lane in the end. So too is Mark Crutcher.
Yeah, he's hauled these guys in, Cody Bircher. Clearly did a nice job of looking after his tyres early in the race, so the car's got good pace late at the end of a weekend. This one winding down. Nathan Hearn's got 4 and a bit seconds now over Owen Kelly. Mustang's dominating the running order. Not that there's any performance differential between all of the brands. They are all very much the same, but top 5 cars are all the Ford products.
Tim Brook, who finished third in last year's series, he went on to collect poles and race wins.
I reckon they've swapped positions. I think Cody Birch has gone through on Tim Brook. Saw a flash of red behind Owen Kelly.
Let's keep an eye on the background.
Yep.
There it is. So he's up another spot now.
Oh, where's Brook gone? He's going slowly. Tim Brook, points leader coming into the weekend. He's tumbling down the order. Lockie Dalton's gone through as well. He's down to 5th on the timing screen.
Can you believe the misfortune? And there it is for car 38. Cruising around towards turn number 4. That's Ethan Thornborough going past him now. And he'll just need to get home. We're on the final lap. So he needs to get this car to it. And he's struggling to pull it up down there, the monochrome entry. But this guy has not been in struggle street at all in this race.
We saw yesterday Nick Carroll's thing jammed in gear. I wonder if the same thing might have happened. Jammed in 3rd gear for Nick, because he was going pretty quickly into the corner, so he was trying to make up ground. This has been huge from Nathan Hearn. A checkered start to the weekend, but geez, rebounded well. It's why he's the champion. It's why he's got number 1 on the door of the Valvoline Mustang. And this is going to be a really impressive performance to win the race. He won't get the weekend overall, but Nathan Hearn, the champion, back.
Through the final turn we go, and he fought with Owen Kelly in the opening stages of the race. He made the pass and was never touched from that point. Nathan Hearn wins the final race of Turtle Wax Trans Am here at the island on Sunday afternoon as the sun just peeks out one more time. Owen Kelly will be 2nd and win the round overall. Bircher will be 3rd for the race, but it'll put Lockie Dalton on the podium now, who finishes 4th. Holdsworth next, then Morris up to 6th. McCorkindale, Girton, Thornborough, and Tim Brook manages to get home in 10th position.
Wow. Last lap worked well for Tim. He'll salvage some points, but will he get on the podium?
He will. He does.
Yeah,
Actually gets to the 3rd without correcting now, so he finishes 3rd on the podium, even with that 10th place.
Wow. Confirmation of race 3 results. Turtle Wax Trans Am Series. Wildly entertaining 3 races here at Phillip Island. Some good performances there. Cole Girton back to 8th after starting down a long way. McCorkindale 7th. I thought that was a good drive as well. Nick Carroll walking wounded all weekend. So fast, so unlucky, down to 11th. Craig Costello, a pretty solid 14th there, with Dalton Ellery back in 17th. Gee, he's had a tough one. Adam Hargraves got to the finish in 18th place. Some dramas for Coulter and Hassett. And these were some of the walking wounded at the end of a wild one. Turtle Wax Trans Am. It's box office wherever they go. Big fields, close, competitive, entertaining racing wherever they go. Short track at Simmons or the fast one at Phillip Island. It's always good stuff in Trans Am.
Look how close Hearn was there with Kelly, just Talladega style down the main straight, glued to the back of the Fujitsu 73 to take all the highlights of the final race. Tim Brook was on the outside there in turn number 1 with Lockie Dalton just behind. But then this moment for Ben Grice, who just ran out of racetrack, ran out of luck and spun his way out down here to the tail of the field and ultimately wouldn't finish the final race here today.
And what he's got to do to have a solid trouble-free weekend in Trans Am. This was a great battle for the lead for the opening 3 laps. Owen Kelly used all of his guile and experience in top-level racing like this to hold off Nathan Hearn, but ultimately the car speed advantage was all in favour of car 1. Awkward moment, 23 and 4, inseparable all race. Hollinger and Mark Crutcher. And then this one for Nick Carroll, who was fighting to get towards the podium. It was for 3rd and 4th, that battle. And he just ducked out from the battle and lost the rear of the car and it spun. Brock Bowley, we talked about how well he was going and his car promptly blew up. And then Hollinger again into the fence. But this guy completely untroubled on his way to victory at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit.
Nearly 5 seconds was the margin back to Owen Kelly. Mustangs 1, 2 and 3 here in the final race of Turtle Wax Trans Am here at the end of Sunday. Nathan Hearn leads the series by a slender 7 points now, back to Brook. Girton in 3rd, tied with Lockie Dalton now and Owen Kelly. So watch that when we head to the next round. Holdsworth, Thornborough, Dalton, Ellery, John McCorkindale and Chris Pappas inside the top 10 in the Wealth Ride entry, car number 8. So very tight there at the top. We've got some guys with a bit of work to do. Cody Bircher outside, Jet Johnson in 14th, Nash Morris 17th, Ben Grice 19th.
He was a championship contender, and Nick Carroll as well, 20th. These are guys that will contend for races throughout the championship, but they're outside the top 15 in the standings. more than 30 drivers having scored points across the first 2 rounds of the championship, and we'll see more of them at Mount Panorama the next round. But let's go and hear from our winners with Chris Stubbs in victory lane.
Well, he's our championship leader and our victor in this race. Second for the round. A great weekend. Nathan, you had a little bit to deal with across this weekend, but gee, you handled it well.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's been nothing but short but stressful this weekend. I've been walking up and down the stewards room more than I've been focused on the race car, so frustrating in that regard, but, you know, it's been a really good weekend, and, you know, we just kept getting setback after setback after setback, but, you know, the boys stayed back here till 10 o'clock last night, and, you know, while I was, you know, living a luxury life in the motel room sleep, so, yeah, I mean, a massive thank you to Tommy and Frenchie. They've done a lot of work in these cars, and yeah, I mean, it's great to end up here in victory lane as well for last race. But yeah, just want to give a big shout out to everyone at Lismore with all the floods, and hope recovery's going well, and yeah, hopefully get back up there sometime soon.
Nathan, really, really well said. Good job this weekend.
Thank you. Cheers.
We'll move on down to our round victor. What a great result it was for Owen Kelly as well. A tough one to start at home for him down in Tassie at Simmons Plains, but you have bounced back beautifully. Congratulations. The Trico Trans Am victor for the weekend.
Thanks, that sounds pretty good. We didn't start out real flash. We made a lot of changes last night, and obviously made it a lot better for today. And not sure what happened there with that tyre, so we had a really bad vibration from the start. Couldn't even see straight down the straight, you know. It was, so I sort of went into, all right, I'll let Nathan go and, you know, win the round, and it would have been nice to win all 3 races, but we didn't quite have the car speed he had there, so it's all good. Still got the win, so.
And great points for the championship as well as we put our eyes forward, so that's always important to bounce back, because you were pretty disappointed and frustrated after Tassie, weren't you?
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. I think we come out of there 10th in points or something, which obviously not what we're looking for. And so no, that's a really good recovery by the guys. I've got to thank Fujitsu and Pumper Manufacturing, Empire Machinery, Sign Zone, Wes, a whole bunch of people that help us. All the GRM guys have been putting in really long hours here over the weekend. So big team effort.
Mate, great job.
Thank you.